Hey, my brother likes to say it sometimes when people look like that. Damn, they look hurt.
Hey,
he looks hurt.
Hey, Floyd got so much money. He should have known better.
Like you gotta come looking better than that.
No, they gonna catch your worst reaction, especially media.
Look at that face. Look at that face.
Yo,
just look at that face.
Floyd got so much money. We forgot Floyd was bald for like 15 years, just bald. He got a head full of hair now. Floyd look crazy. So he got to realize, like, you fighting a troll, you was a troll. At least you had skill. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Bro, I know they say it's an exhibition, but I
turn the background.
I truly believe and I really hope that Mayweather just goes in and beats the absolute dog shit out of this guy. Just absolutely handles him. What if Floyd loses, though?
I think Floyd gonna lose. I don't think Floyd finna win this fight.
I don't know why.
He's gonna go 50-1
Floyd,
to Logan Paul.
But he went 50. He went 50-0 running. I mean,
true. I mean,
running.
Floyd, he ain't go 50.
Hey, he ducked a lot of people in their prime too.
Like,
oh yeah.
He went like 30-0 running.
Yeah.
When Floyd was pretty boy, Floyd was fucking niggas up back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
He was fighting.
When he was first starting out, yeah.
When he was pretty boy Floyd, he was beating motherfuckers up. Now, I agree with you.
He ducked every fighter. He didn't want any part of Manny Pacquiao when he was beating everybody's ass.
Manny would have
Manny would have straight.
He wanted no part of that.
Fuck out of Floyd.
He wanted no part of that.
Yo,
and then he caught Canelo just before his prime. Like, I think that was Canelo's, like,
he was young.
Maybe his like 6th or 7th professional fight.
He was young, but after
he was young as hell.
He blew up right after that though. Like he didn't
lose right after that.
I mean, I'm just saying, like Canelo, that was actually the best place for him to fight Floyd, because if you think about it like this, think about if Floyd and Canelo would have fought like how Wilder and fucking what's my boy name, the Gypsy.
Hold that thought real quick. Let's start real quick. 5, 4, 3, 2. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to All Pro JAFFOs. Where the hell is he going? Jesus Christ. All Pro JAFFOs, episode 67, live. Not nameless, not faceless. We're just born for greatness. It's JP alongside me. As always, the best DJ in the West Coast, Mr. DJ Mad Sticks.
What's good? What's good?
You just saw him on camera. He walked away, but the background of fucking what was Money Mayweather.
I thought he had a dinner plate for a second when he walked back.
Oh no!
The 6'10" beast from the southeast, Mr. Country Cat.
What people? Hey, look. Oh no! I gotta turn this.
He got the cast iron plates.
I wasn't trying to have all my business in the streets, but
straight off the stove.
Excuse the pool set box back there. Hey, but no, I got weights. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking what's this shit? Concrete weights, and I sprayed.
For some reason, I was just you were just about to eat off a weight. I don't know why I thought that.
No, I sprayed my 45s today. See, I sprayed my 45s today.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
So that's why I was going, because I had them in the driveway in the sun. They've been out there for like 5 hours. I just let them cook. You know what I'm saying? They good now.
Welcome to the show, everybody. I hope you guys had a lovely week. Hope work wasn't too stressful for you. Before we even got started, really, we were talking about boxing just right now. Floyd Mayweather, the whole Logan Paul fight situation, press conference that just happened not too long ago. But then we're talking about how Floyd, really throughout his whole career, kind of ducked everybody in their prime. He wanted no part of Manny Pacquiao in his prime. Fought a young Canelo. He didn't really fight anybody who was that worthy at the time. They had a big name at one point, but they were outside of their prime or just before when they fought him. But now, Mets, if you honestly think there's a possibility that Floyd Mayweather is going to lose to Logan Paul.
Hey, all it takes is one good hit. All you do is get caught slipping, and that's a wrap. Hey, you never know. You never know. All it takes is one good one.
Do you understand what that would do to his legacy?
Hey.
Do you understand? Do you understand the 50-0?
That's the chance you take taking a fight. That's the chance you're taking.
You lose all credibility. Doesn't matter who the fuck you fought in your past. You lost to
credibility.
A YouTuber. You lost to a YouTuber who just started fighting. No.
You never know. All it takes is one hit.
All credibility.
He ain't been credible in some years.
So I mean, still, like his whole claim to being one of the best to ever do it and everything, like 50-0, considered one of the greatest defensive. But I don't think running is necessarily defense. So it's just kind of like, I mean, I've seen most of Mayweather's career, and to be honest, I don't even have him in my top 10 of greatest fighters of all time.
Nah, he's not.
Like, not even close. There's so many other fighters that their records were way just completely surpassed whatever Floyd think he did in his career.
So
I
feel like it's a few things, y'all. Well, morely, because Josh, you speaking, so I'll just say you. But Mastic's most definitely agreeing. But it's a few things y'all are leaving out for the whole Floyd situation. All right, so to my earlier point, what I was gonna say about Canelo, this was the only thing I was gonna say with the whole Canelo situation, because I slightly agree. Like, he picks his fights, and some of that shit be like bullshit, and we won't be wanting to see that shit. Some of them, but the Canelo fight. Here's my point for the Canelo fight. I feel like Canelo fought him at a great time because it gave Canelo that learning lesson. Because you can walk around in your own country and beat the shit out of every motherfucking big-ass Mexican, because he was Mexican. Big-ass Mexican you come across. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with fucking Connor. You can go around Ireland and whoop every motherfucking Irish dude except for that old white dude that beat your ass in the bar. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can do all of that bullshit, but at the same time, I feel like Canelo probably the best point because, fought him at the best point because I feel like he was able to learn from it and become the Canelo that we gonna see on Saturday.
Well, that's what I'm saying with Canelo. That fight was beneficial to Canelo, not really because again, Canelo was really early in his career, but that gave Canelo a very early because most fighters don't fight caliber fighters like that early in their career.
Yeah.
So he learned that lesson really of defense, because Canelo after that became a hell of a defensive fighter. Yeah. The head movements, everything with him, he focused on being a defensive fighter, and he's the powerful puncher. And he's a Mexican. He's a Mexican fighter, and that's what they do. They come at you. So he learned. I agree with you. Him learning that lesson that quickly for him was big for his career. But if you look at it, where Floyd was in his career, if you really look at it, he had no business fighting somebody who was that early in their career.
If you look at it you got to look at it from a different perspective. You don't look at it as he fought somebody as a rookie. He fought a very talented. Let me take it like this. The easiest way to put it is like when Michael Jordan played Kobe Bryant one-on-one in the All-Star games. It's the exact same shit. Jordan was still Larry Bird's Black Jesus. You know what I'm saying? He was still, that's what Larry Bird called him. So, he was still Michael Jordan. He was still doing that. He was still that dude. But Kobe was the next upcoming thing. He was the 17-year-old, 18-year-old coming into the league hooping. And I feel like Canelo was Kobe and Floyd was, you know what I'm saying? He was teaching him versus because at that time, Floyd was a major villain. Floyd had that Miami shit going on. You know what I'm saying? He had a whole bunch of shit going on. So I feel like Floyd at that time, if you look at it from a different perspective, he was teaching this man versus everybody just being on Floyd's neck like, oh, fuck.
It wasn't like it was intentional though.
No,
it wasn't like it was an intentional lesson like he was going to give him or anything else like that. That's
very intentional. It was very intentional. This is the reason why I say this. Because Canelo could have literally fought anybody else in fucking boxing, right? And
he wanted to fight the best, obviously.
No, I'm saying, if he just think about it like this, Floyd turned down that fight. He pretty much got anybody else in the damn WBA to fight, right? So now he got to fight a lower tier fighter. He don't learn those defensive lessons. He'll come out now. His whole game is now like Wilder, where you just throwing punches and you ain't fucking blocking. You know what I'm saying? Like that. It's just
he doesn't learn the defensive lesson that he ended up learning from that.
Of everything. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like Floyd.
He's one of the best counterpunchers in the game now too. If not the best counterpuncher in the game.
Because of Floyd. People not giving Floyd credit for that because they all the only thing they see is him being flamboyant, him saying all this shit, and him not fighting fighters that people want him
to
fight.
But here's the thing. With you can give Floyd the credit for giving Canelo an early lesson into his career, which ended up basically skyrocketing his career. Because he put some good shots on Floyd that fight. So that put a lot of eyes on Canelo. And his growth and his evolution and everything since that fight has been nothing short of spectacular. Like, it's been absolutely, you can give Floyd credit, I guess, for giving him the early lesson. But I'm saying when you give the overall conversation of greatest fighters of all time, you can't even begin to talk about Floyd Mayweather until well after 10, 15, maybe even fucking 20 with some of the fighters that have gone through history of boxing.
Yeah.
Like he can't hold a fucking candle to some of the guys that are out
there. Yeah, and this was again, we all gonna go based on for what we saw in our time walking. You know what I'm saying? I didn't start watching boxing until I got older. My brother was on that shit. They used to have fight parties and shit when I was growing up, but I never gravitated to it because one, I ain't had no money when I was growing up, so I ain't had HBO and Showtime and shit. So that's the first fucking statement.
Man, I remember when that shit first came out though, back in the day when cable first came out.
Oh man,
that shit was like hilarious. Like the first, like I remember the black box. Yeah, I remember watching like the first WrestleMania, and there was like a 60-minute intermission in between the match. I was like, and everybody paid. We all went down to the street, everybody threw that little money in. But yeah, cable was back then.
My grandpa, when I was a kid growing up in Texas, when we'd ever go to his house, he always had boxing on. Most people from Mexico, big boxing fans. And especially at that time, he had, Julio Cesar Chavez and, all these other like great fighters. De La Hoya in his early days, like when he was first coming up and all that stuff, like the amount of Mexican fighters that have gone through boxing, fucking warriors, fucking warriors in the ring, bro. Like you cannot deny that. So my grandpa would literally have me and my brother we're watching Julio Cesar Chavez, we're watching Felix Trinidad, all of these guys that are just, I look back on it now because you look at the highlight tapes of like past fights, like of things you want to kind of look at and see how things were. And I remember the majority of all of those fights because I was watching it with my grandpa at the time. So it's like, that's why I say, as much as I've seen, at least in my life, I mean, I'm only 29 years old. I haven't really seen shit compared to a whole lot of other people. Like, obviously, I didn't personally see Muhammad Ali and, Joe Frazier, guys like that back in the early days, Rocky Marciano, that type of stuff. I didn't see that. So I can't really, I can go back and look at history, like the clips and everything and go, yeah, he was a fucking beast. But from what I've seen through my lifetime, that's what I said. With Floyd, he's not even close. Not even close.
Let me ask you this. So your number one boxer of all time, what do they have to have? What are their qualities? Not personally, what are their qualities?
For me personally, or at least what I see in a fighter is somebody like when you're talking about the greatest, and there's different kind of like styles, but when you're talking about the greatest fighter of all time, you're literally looking at somebody who ducked no fights, fought all the time, wasn't afraid of anybody, the knockout numbers, the amount of skill put into boxing, not the defense, the evading, the amount of power, contact, like it's a culmination of a whole lot of things. And for me, the greatest fighter that I have ever seen, like personally seen of all time, and this is no disrespect to anybody else, but it's Julio Cesar Chavez. The dude went 89-0 before his first loss. And at that point, only lost 3 other times and had over 100 and I want to say a little over 110 or just below 110 wins in his career and 4 total losses. That dude ducked nobody. He was one of those fighters that you don't see nowadays. Most fighters that you see, they fight once, twice, maybe 3 times a year. This dude fought once every 2-3 months. And just knocking people the fuck out. He was the blueprint of the Mexican fighter. All the Mexican fighters that you see, their style of the brawler style that you see with the Mexican fighters, that's all because of him. Every one of them have looked at his film and just see the amount of just focus and the calculated movements. Like, I'm really getting into this, right? You're laughing, but I'm really getting into this right now. Like, for real. It's just, it looked so good. It was just so fluid. And, like, he didn't lose until fucking, I think, De La Hoya beat him for his first loss. But at that point, he was late in his career. I mean, 89 victories. He held the title for over a decade.
I feel like shit different though. Like
nowadays, absolutely. Compared to boxing then.
Oh yeah.
That's not what I mean. That's not.
But the thing with Julio Cesar Chavez, like the history, like I know a lot of the history. This guy, the doctors literally said that he pretty much picked the perfect sport for him because his skull was thicker than the normal human skull. So the punches, he'd just be able to eat them and not really, he'd just be able to keep coming. It was hard to get him dazed and everything like that compared to everybody else. Because you look at the fights that he was in some wars. He didn't always knock everybody out first, second, third round. Like he went the distance and went to war with a lot of people. His face was fucked after a lot of fights. But the whole fact that that dude was the absolute definition of a fucking warrior when it came to boxing. And I don't think really anybody, especially with the record that he had, how long he held the title, the amount of knockouts he had, just the whole legacy of his career and how long he did it and how long he did it well.
You know when he got the title and then when he lost.
Fuck, dude. He started when he was like 16, 17. Yeah. Maybe even earlier than that.
But you saying he was 80, what'd you say, 89, 84?
89-0 before his first loss.
So that's basically from his start, like his intro. Like it was
to his mid-30s.
From 16 to his mid-30s. We not counting none of Floyd early shit. You know that, right? Like Floyd 50-0 on the fucking.
I'm not talking about amateur fights. This is all professional.
Oh, okay. I mean, like I said, I don't know homie like that because I'm not.
No.
Guy,
No,
like,
the 89 and 0 before those are all professional fights. Those aren't amateur fights. Those aren't amateur numbers. That's all in the pros.
Just based off like using football as an example, even though not the same sport at all, but I'm just more like just going off of the health shit. So the way they garner football is a lot different than when it was back in the day. And I feel like boxing is pretty much the same way in that because they both like very contact driven sports. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the whole health thing a little different with that. And that's why I feel like homie was able to fight so many fights because motherfuckers wasn't giving a fuck. And so they definitely give a fuck if he fucked himself up mentally. You know what I'm saying? Like if he just going out there just getting beamed the fuck up. Who you talking about? Julio Cesar Chavez?
But that's the thing with him. That's the thing that was such an anomaly. As many fights as he had at his age now, he's coherent.
Yeah. I mean,
like he'd be able to speak. He's there. Like he's all as many times. That's why I said the thickness of the skull really helps prevent
all that,
like the brain damage that most fighters usually get throughout their career.
Yeah, so it's very easy. It's easy to bounce back from that shit too. If you think about it, your recovery time is way shorter. You're able to take more fights. So I could, like I said, I get it. But the thing from Floyd, you got to look at it from Floyd's perspective. So just think about it. You sitting in your room, right, as a kid, and you watching Muhammad Ali motherfucking goddamn body shutting down on him. He got to have a walker. He barely can talk like that. You know what I'm saying? And he was the greatest to a lot of people. So it could have been one of him too. But so think about it. When you make a decision later on in your career, like I'm just gonna be an all defensive fighter, bro. Defense is part of that shit too, bro. You gotta be.
But the thing with Muhammad Ali was during his time. One, he was a heavyweight.
Yeah, no,
he's always fighting the biggest, most powerful dudes. Most of those fights never go the distance in heavyweight bouts. Somebody's always getting knocked out in those fights.
True that, but I'm not saying as in comparison.
And the gloves were different too.
Floyd just looking at it from athlete to athlete, boxer to boxer. Like I'm watching this boxer deteriorate because he's taking shots. He's trying to exchange shots with people. Like, yeah, he moving, but he also trying to exchange shots. If I switch my whole game plan and just be all defensive or just a counter fighter, shit, I can win some more fights. And me picking my fights, I'm able to pick my bag. Because I ain't finna fight no heavy anticipated fight for $1,000. Ain't happening. I'll take this dude-ass fight against this YouTuber for $100 million. So I get it. I get the perspective. I don't agree with this shit. I'm with y'all.
That's probably what it's gonna get too.
I'm just giving the voice of reason, but I'm with y'all. I think there's some bullshit. I understand why you do it.
But can you explain to me though, even given Floyd's career, how do you explain taking this fight?
$100 million. COVID, $100 million.
As much as he's made throughout his career, is he still in?
Career
got that gambling problem?
Career don't mean shit. Until Jeff Bezos retired, he was still sending Amazon packages. I can tell you that much.
Did Floyd go broke already?
Say what?
Like with all the, I said, did Floyd go broke already with all the gambling stuff and everything? Like what happened? Why would you want to even risk tarnishing your legacy with this fight?
Easy money. The same way why he tried to tarnish his legacy when he was 10-0 and 20-0 and 30 and 40. Like, bro, I completely understand you. Him fighting Conor McGregor was a situation. Like that was
even that was like what
it was
are you
bullshit.
Doing?
It was bullshit. I agree. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is that
but we're the stooges who watch, huh?
No, not at all. I mean, look at that's his way of bringing in revenue.
We talk all this shit, but we still pay the money to watch the motherfuckers.
Can't get $1 out of me.
Jeez.
Music, man. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Can't get $1 out of me. But anyway, but no, fucking, nah, bro. You gotta remember, Floyd got different businesses. He also got other boxers. You know what I'm saying? His training facility in Vegas was losing money.
So what is he worried about? Oh man,
businesses.
If that's the reason,
yeah,
if he's losing money because of the businesses and everything, that's the reason why he's taking this fight.
I'm not saying it's a money-driven thing because the man's very smart with money. He can't read that long-ass contract all the way through, but he's smart with money. The thing is, he's showing you the flamboyancy. He's showing that because that's how it was when he was growing up. He gonna show you the only thing he knows. But what I'm saying,
he got in gambling trouble.
Okay,
he was losing money.
Everybody living in Vegas.
How do you call that smart with your money?
But I mean, everybody get in trouble in Vegas eventually. Like he hit a lot of times, and
that's because he got into a fight where that's because he took a fight where he wouldn't accept anything lower than 50 mil a fight.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me because if you think about it, the same way.
So anytime he was getting close to getting broke because he's making bad fucking bets out there in Vegas, I'll just take another fight to fucking re-up. People will watch me.
No, but
you will watch that fight.
His fighters are beating motherfuckers up right now. Like Javante,
okay, then go through that. Be a trainer.
Come on, bro. They beat.
He's not getting a percentage out of that for training him.
Who, Floyd?
He's not getting a percentage out of that.
Hey, TMT, yes, that's what I'm saying. He's getting money from that.
But so why need to take this fight,
bro? $100 million, bro. You're tripping, bro. $100 million, bro. Yo, you going to fight a YouTuber for 100? Bro, I'm gonna just say it like this: if somebody came to your house right now, knocked on your door in Sacramento, hey Josh, I want you to go one-on-ones with this DB. He plays in this Pop Warner team, and we'll give you $100 million. All we need you to do is score 5 touchdowns. That's it. Y'all going one-on-ones. We got a quarterback.
A Pop Warner kid?
A Pop Warner kid. He ain't got that much knowledge in the game. He ain't experienced like that, but he athletic. You know what I'm saying? He athletic, but he ain't got no else. You got the knowledge. You play college ball. You play high school ball. You know what it is. You see what I'm saying? You see the difference? You'll take that fucking. Hey, line, bro. I'm line. What? You want me to run a 7? You want
me to see? Look at this. Here's the difference, though. I absolutely get what you're saying, because if somebody did come and tell me, hey, on this little 12-year-old here, yeah, just score 5 touchdowns on it. We'll just toss it up above them. Just go ahead and just walk that in. Go ahead and do that. We'll give you $100 million. For me, in my current situation, absolutely, I'll take that. But if I was already in the NFL, I had already had an NFL career. 8 years plus or whatever like that, already made well over $100 million
in your career.
Had a legacy, gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer or something like that. One of those types of guys. Why would I even like $100 million? $100 million just to make a kid feel bad about his athletic ability to be able to cover a pro?
See, you look at Rome Spectre.
Mad Six is like, yeah, I'll do it. He's
like, Mad Six is like, yeah, I'll do it.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Josh, what are you talking about?
I ran his ass over in the process, too.
He's showing his morals and principles. I don't step the shit out of this little boy.
That fool. They go $1 million for that hit stick.
What? I'm talking about Ray Lewis. What's my homie name that did commercials? He's like, not in my house. Oh, he's wilding. Bro, I'm with Floyd 100%. That's why I said this is some bullshit. But $100 million, I'm putting my tape and bills on. And you took my hat off in public.
Right.
In public. You got me looking like a Wookiee all over social media. Yo, Floyd better dog him, because if you don't dog him, that's gonna be the worst. You're gonna make any young boy think he can beat your ass. I'm telling you that right now.
Like Mad Six said, one punch, it could be from the worst fighter, but one good, well-placed, powerful punch you're on your fucking face.
I agree.
The wrong way, and that's it.
I agree, but we finna, because I'm telling you right now, Floyd motivated because all the shit I just said jokingly, but realistically, Floyd wanted to beat him up after that Nate Robinson shit. Bro, all of America was
a lot of people
fighters in America, Nate Diaz. What's my boy Dylan? Dang, what's his name? It was Danny Dylan, something like shit like that. Bro, it was a bunch of motherfuckers on social media.
There's a lot of MMA fighters currently right now.
Yeah, they were stressing. They wanted to beat Jake Paul ass, bro. And I get it. I get it. Like, I understand you got this YouTuber kid coming into your sport, clowning, taking. He Floyd Mayweather in a situation they put no work in. Bro, I'd be hot too. But I would have had to go whoop his ass. I would have had to shut him up. Because that's the difference.
But I'm saying he has to. There's no other option for Floyd Mayweather in this situation. He literally no, we can't see this go the distance, go the judge's scorecard or exhibition, so it's a draw or some shit. Like, no. Floyd needs to literally go in there and knock this dude the fuck out.
Hey,
put his lights the fuck out.
Hey, that contract could be like on that fucking Mike Tyson fucking what's my boy name? Roy Jones Jr. You can't knock him out ass shit. Hey, look, you don't know what Jake Paul them probably slipped in that motherfucker real quick. You know what I'm saying? Even though,
bro, I'm telling you, if that's how it is, if that's how where it's like Tyson and fucking and Jones, if it's like that, like I'm kind of like, why are we even watching? Or we're literally watching to see, because we watched the Tyson and Roy Jones fight going like, we think Tyson might actually knock him the fuck out. Just like we're going into it thinking there may be that ruling, but will Floyd actually take the shot? Like, if those are the rules and Floyd still takes the shot and puts him down, and that's how he goes for disqualification, that's how he goes 50-1. I'll take it. I'd be fine with it. I'd be like, oh, I'm 50-1 for the spot. Oops. I knocked it. Oops. My bad. He thought it was cute knocking Nate Robinson and all these other YouTubers and stuff like that out. He wanted to mess with the greatness.
I mean,
you're gonna get the greatness.
Yeah, that's what I agree. But what I'm saying is, I feel like Floyd finna dog him. I'm just being honest. I
hope so.
I'll tell you right now, like, I just got a deep feeling.
So.
This is like the same feeling week 3. Week 3, 4? When we had just lost our second or third game, and I was like, man, we got Brady. Fuck that shit. I promise you, I got the same feeling. That same feeling. I promise you. I feel like Floyd finna dog this dude.
I really hope so, because if it doesn't happen, because like Matt Six, you like, if Floyd loses this fight, 1, it'll tarnish the legacy. 2, people are definitely going to start looking at it as a possible fixed fight. People are already looking at the Ben Askren one like, come on. As many shots and stuff like, we've seen the tapes of him in MMA. He's taken much bigger shots than that.
It looked fake than a motherfucker.
It hella did. He's walking out of there smiling and everything. He got hella out of shape and stuff. He walked out with a fat ass payday. He didn't give a fuck. That's how it's like, there's no legitimacy to this. This fool is fucking crying in the ring like he actually won something.
That's
like,
what's different. That's what makes this a lot different. Because if you really think about it, Floyd track record, after the Canelo shit, I mean, well, pretty much after he fought his last real fighter, he been just fighting trolls. Connor, this boy, he's just been fighting trolls, the little Asian boy across the damn water. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, he just been fighting trolls. I seriously believe Floyd finna drop this motherfucker.
I hope so, dude. I really do.
Hey, only reason why is because
that's gonna be tough.
Floyd
That's gonna be tough.
Boxing right now. This fight is for all of boxing. To be honest, because if he beat Floyd, whether it's decision or whatever the fuck, if he wins, he in boxing. They letting him in, and then it's just gonna be a YouTuber fucking fast drive to fucking goddamn. Put YouTube fights, just go to the local gym. Now they gonna just be in a fight. Oh, we lost. Oh well, you know what I'm saying? Like we'll bounce back. Like it's just gonna be a whole bunch of that. It's gonna be a surge, and it's gonna dilute boxing, and motherfuckers ain't gonna want to watch it, and it's gonna die. So
all I'm saying is,
that's why I feel like
don't
whoop his ass. It's a lot riding on this fight.
You don't snatch a man's hat and expect to get away with it in the long run, especially after looking like. Remember when Denzel came out all scruffed? Hair was all fucked up and everything. He walked the red carpet with that fucked up patchy ass mustache.
Yeah.
And all that hair was growing uneven and shit. Like the whole that's exactly kind of. I was looking at Floyd going like, oh man, this isn't a good look. This is not a good look. Not a good look at all. But no, I'm with you, dude. I really do hope, and I just have that feeling of what if. Like, call it pessimistic or anything you want, but I just have that feeling of what if Floyd actually gets knocked out or a fixed fight or whatever. That's just going to absolutely put a huge, like you said, put a huge stain on boxing. Like, nobody will even want to be part of the sport anymore. It's going to be hard to revive boxing at that point. Because they already had in the past, like, all the corrupt scandals and everything else, like that, fixed fights and stuff before, so people stopped watching it. And then if you have something like this, where supposedly one of the greatest fighters of all time and everything else, at some people's minds, fucking, he comes out and loses to a YouTuber just for $100 million. Like, it's just, okay, he gets his payday, but the sport suffers major. Like, to the point of it probably won't recover anymore. MMA is going to completely take over everything at that point. Like, it's just going to be all bad. But moving on to the next subject, because fucking there was one person I saw on Twitter today just absolutely pissed the fuck up. Kendrick Perkins. Okay. While talking to Ryan Clark and Dan Orlovsky, I believe it was on ESPN, said that it is harder to win an NBA championship than it is to win the NFL championship, to win a Super Bowl. What do you take that? Because I'm absolutely just this is clickbait shit, right? You can't honestly believe something that's stupid.
I believe it.
Like what?
I believe it.
What? No, like you agree with it?
I hate Kendrick Perkins takes and shit like that, but I believe it. I believe every piece of what the fuck you talking about.
Oh, you believe that he believes what he's talking about?
Yeah, and I believe I agree with him. I'm like, yeah, I agree with him, bro. Like, what you talking about? Like, yes, it's harder to win the NBA championship than it is the NFL Super Bowl. It ain't got nothing to do about the amounts of games. Like the most insignificant motherfucker can win the game. Look at Nick Foles. The most insignificant motherfucker can win the game in football. That motherfucker can run and kick return back.
You were completely taking away from that game. First of all, the whole team aspect of what happened that night for them to actually win.
I'm not saying
Nick Foles stepped up and fucking put on a hell of
balling. They was on the Patriots' ass, like, bro. It was a whole bunch of shit for that. I'm more than saying to that team, to that year, Nick Foles was the most insignificant motherfucker on that squad, and he won that game. He won that motherfucker.
Matt says, I'm about I'm about had it.
I don't understand. I don't get it because of the single elimination makes it harder.
Are you that salty of the coaches who made you play offensive line instead of defense that you would actually pick
this season? Yo,
no, I'm just saying, like, were you that mad at all those coaches where it ruined football to you to the point where you would actually agree with that type of nonsense?
Bro, I'm gonna be all the way honest with you. Since we on live on YouTube, I don't like divulging this shit because I keep it internally, or I'll say it to y'all in the group chat or some shit, but I don't really say this shit publicly. Them niggas ain't know what the fuck they was doing. We wasn't gonna win if I was the offensive line or defensive line. That's just being real. We wasn't gonna win shit. We won and whatever. The only team we beat is a team that ain't won a game in Chico. We wasn't gonna win shit, bro. And that's just being real. Like it was so unorganized. Everything was in disarray. Our last game of the season tomorrow. I'm just going to let it be known. So I'm able to say all this bullshit. So hey, by the time these motherfuckers see this shit, the game would have been over. So hey, look, we weren't gonna win shit, bro. That's just me being a football mind. Especially, I knew that shit after week 1. Matter of fact, I knew that shit at halftime of week 1. I knew we weren't gonna win shit from that moment. Just for the simple fact, when I'm sitting there, I was coming off the field. I'm sitting there talking about like, let's talk football and shit like that. Let's get on the whiteboard. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be a quasi leader because the damn team captains they appointed didn't do shit. They wasn't talking. Nobody wasn't saying shit. Nobody wasn't getting shit organized. Nobody wasn't, you know what I mean? Let's get over here.
When you're losing, the morale of the team tends to go down.
Week 1 at halftime, the score was 8-0.
What was the end of the game?
21-0. That's week 1. And matter of fact, we played that team twice and lost the exact same score both fucking times.
But this doesn't explain how you think NBA Finals is harder to win than the fucking Super Bowl. No, in the 100 years, I was talking to Matchsticks about this before. In the 100 years of the NFL's existence, there are no teams in the NFL that have over 6 Super Bowls to their name. None of them.
Okay.
That shows exactly how difficult it is, especially with the NBA. With the NBA, you have games of 5 or games of 7. So, and Ryan Clark made a great point about the other day. LeBron could have a bad game 1, game 2, but sweeps the next 4 games because if you have a bad day in the NFL in the playoffs, you're done. You're going home. There's no ifs, ands, and the physical toll of football to be able to get to that point, the 4 quarters, that it's not even close.
Yeah, down too much. I don't put that in account. The banging, I don't put that in account. Just for the simple fact of outside of running back and receiver, who really get hit like that? Offensive line, defensive line, they fucking 2 feet from each other. That contact, I get it. It's hard, but come on, that ain't like running 40 miles an hour at running back or receiver getting smacked. I agree outside of that. But be LeBron James for 1 game. I'm talking about run full speed, jump in the air over 10 feet, land on your body. That's the same amount of fucking pressure that you put on your joints as you doing other things in football. That's why I don't bring the physicality. I'm more than just talking about.
I don't honestly. The only reason, especially in the NBA, where it's been a problem with like joints and knees and stuff, because the players in the NBA are much bigger, much lankier. Like they're a lot skinnier than guys in the NFL. They're more. The biggest guy is what, 6'8".
You tripping?
But like a physical.
No. Villanueva 6'10". You wilding out. Villanueva.
So so the biggest guy is 6'10".
That's an NBA center.
Yeah, but everybody else underneath that is what? The average lineman is not no 6'10". It's about like 6'6", 6'7".
which is
probably I would say
under homie.
That's a point guard in the NBA now.
No, it's bro.
You got point guards who are like 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". Ben Simmons is 6'10".
Okay, you talking about anomalies? I'm talking about average. On average, the average height of a fucking center in the NBA is about 6'10", 6'11". Motherfuckers ain't set like ain't a gang of these niggas 7 feet. No,
there is though. There's more than 10.
It's a lot more. But
the biggest dude in the NBA is 7'5".
Then that's Taco Fall.
7'5".
Yeah.
I already know who it is.
Taco Fall.
That's what I'm saying. I know who it is. Taco the biggest person. He don't even play like that.
He got like an 8-foot wingspan.
Yeah, Taco don't even play like that. I'll go somebody like Joel Embiid is like 7'1", 7 feet even. He like round there. He's the NBA All-Star. And he don't even play like that. I'm trying to
I don't agree. I
agree that it's more physical in football, but I feel like it is harder in basketball because of the mental toll. They got back-to-backs. They got, you know what I'm saying? They'll play 3 games or 4 games, sometimes 5 in a fucking week.
In the playoffs, they go once every other day. They don't go back-to-back games in the playoffs. They go once every other day.
Okay, so every other day, that's 3 games in a week to
but
football.
The physical toll, you can't go every other day in the NFL like that. You can't. And the physical toll, the amount of injuries and everything that you would have if you basically put the NFL schedule the way like the NBA is set up, not the same amount of games, but like if you put the 16 games,
I agree with that,
like almost back to back and stuff like that, there's no fucking way
like that no more. Let's be real. Let's call a spade a spade. NFL ain't acting like that no more.
No, not like that anymore. But still,
even
the hits that get laid, people still get injured all the time in the NFL. All the time in the NFL.
I ain't seen if you put games so specific this season that's
less time. That's less time. Because if somebody gets injured significantly, they're out for like weeks. That's significant in the NFL. One of your best offensive linemen, your quarterback, your wide receivers, anything else like that, that's just significant. Guys can sit for like a week or two and still be able to come back, get your team in the playoffs, and go from there. In the NBA, they have that length of schedule, but you can't have the physical toll of the NFL go once every other day or back-to-back days like they do in the regular season with the NFL. You can't do that with the NFL.
Let me.
You'd have nobody to play.
Let me make it relatable to both of y'all. So for you, Bosa could have got that injury planned for the Warriors. Let's just end that right there.
Okay.
Dak Prescott could have got that injury fucking planned. Matter of fact, Dak Prescott injury was 1,000 times worse than LeBron's because it was basically the same thing, an ankle injury. LeBron could have did that exact same shit Dak Prescott did in that injury.
I can't believe LeBron went on live.
He saw that injury and he saw that injury, so he know what I'm talking about. Both of them could have fucked themselves up the exact same way. It wasn't nothing different.
LeBron after that ankle, and you as a Lakers fan, man. So before we end, because my phone's about to die. He got like a high ankle sprain, and literally went on national TV and said, "I'm never going to be 100% ever in my career." Just like that must be the worst high ankle sprain to have ever hit any fucking athlete. For him to go and say that had nothing to do with the ankle injury. You're never going to be 100% because you're fucking getting old. Like, let's get at the facts here. You're getting into your like 40s and stuff like that now. That we're getting close to these numbers, okay? And playing the game of basketball as much as he has, that's going to take a toll on his body for however many games they take in season. So for him to play high ankle sprain, a high ankle sprain, bro. Blame it on a broken wrist or something actually significant happened to your ankle or your knee or something. A high ankle sprain. I'm never going to be the same. This high ankle sprain took a lot out of me. Never going to be the same.
But see, what you don't realize
it's not going to be the same LeBron anymore.
Look how much force these dudes is jumping with. This force they doing, like, he knows his body, like, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be 100% of their ankle sprain.
We all know he's not going to be, but it's not going to be because no. It is not going to be because of a high fucking ankle sprain that he's not going to be 100. It has everything to do with he's getting up there in age, and yes, the sport takes a lot on your body, jumping up and down, especially as high level and high intensity as he plays the game. Obviously, yes, that's going to take a toll on his body, but to blame it on a high ankle sprain. It's nothing. It's nothing significant that nobody can come back from.
Bro,
okay. Ask Steph Curry. Steph Curry came back from I don't know how many ankle sprains and still won MVP and unanimous MVP and everything. So you can't a high ankle sprain. LeBron James, a high ankle sprain took out LeBron James.
He's been going with ankle injuries his whole life. His whole life.
High ankle. Okay. So what? LeBron James is the Achilles of the NBA.
LeBron James did shit that ain't nobody ever did. LeBron James came in playing like a
fair.
Let me say it like this. LeBron James came into the NBA basically another swole version of Dominique Wilkins.
They already were calling him the next Michael Jordan when he was in high school.
Say what now?
They were already calling LeBron James the next Michael Jordan when he was coming out of high school.
Well, it was
already had that hype then.
Just the number, relatability and shit. Like the number 23, it was easy to fucking put 2 and 2. Yeah.
In a way, he lived up to the hype.
I mean,
in a way, he lived up because he's up there. He's up there in the higher echelon of players.
He could never do what Jordan did. The man went to 10 NBA straight finals, bro, and he lost. He was taking teams. The man LeBron was doing what AI did against the Lakers, bro. Like everybody know the fucking Philadelphia 76ers shouldn't have been in that shit.
I'm not taking that in a way. Okay, I'm not disputing your point at all because in a way you're actually further proving my point. The amount of greatness that this guy has put in the NBA.
What? His phone died. I don't know how your phone died when you at home, man.
Right. My phone stay on the charger.
Yeah, bro, just put your thing on the charger. I know you got an extension cord out the box.
Right.
But no, hey, look, I'm gonna just get my point out. I'm in this shit. You know what I mean? But my only point I was gonna make is LeBron is so athletic that it takes a toll on his body. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of shit. He really wasn't getting injuries his whole career. Nah. And he get beat up all the time. The man played all the positions, played point guard when he really a 3-4. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I was saying. So yeah, high ankle injury will take him out. I had a high ankle injury. It took me out. So I already know. And I ain't LeBron. Mm-hmm. So I can just imagine somebody like Bron.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what he play at every game, and yes, because
he know he ain't really got a team. He know it's just him, AD, for real. Mm-hmm. Like, it's really him and AD that's dependable every night. And if I ain't at my LeBron James level, these motherfuckers gonna try to trash me.
Mm-hmm. I get it. You gotta play at that level, just because of your name now, you gotta play.
Yeah, so that's why I said, like, I agree. And that's why I made that point. It was just relatable to what y'all was talking. I mean, what, to your teams and shit like that. That's why I was saying about that. But whatever, I'm done. You got anything else?
Yeah. I'm good. Yeah.
All right, for sure. Well, side note, I'm gonna be up there in SAC. It's my boy's birthday this weekend, so I'm definitely gonna be up there.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be out Rancho tomorrow morning. We doing my instructor hit me up and want me to come. They got a class that's getting ready to take their black belt test. So he want me to come help him do the test. So so I'll be out there doing that. So that'll be cool tomorrow. Get back out there.
Yeah, hit your little Bruce Lee moves.
Yeah. Let these fools go. I've been gone for a minute. I still got it.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, but look, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and close it out now. Right. It's been the All Pro JAFFO, you know what I'm saying? I'm Country K. Going through your thing.
DJ Mastix.
Yo, make sure y'all check out our stuff. I ain't really got too much. I'm at Country K 863. Country is with a K, K-O-U-N-T-R-Y-K 863. That's on all social media platforms. So go check out what them got going on. What you got, bro?
DJ Mad 6 on all platforms. Hit me there. Look for me. You know, I'm always out in the streets. So hit me up. You want to come do a protest? Hit me up. We be out here.
Okay. And then make sure y'all check out us at Alpha PBP. I think that's what it is, PBP.
Mm-hmm.
That's on most platforms. Damn, I think that's on everything actually. I'm not entirely sure. Josh ain't here, and I really don't remember right now. So yeah, man. Until next week, we'll make sure everything charged up. I'm gonna say peace to y'all, man. Aloha.
All right, this is